have a lot of practices, meditation, breathing, simple things. I say to people, just 4 minutes every morning, focus on the breath, and you clear. The breath itself acts as a pump and clears the body's, the energy body. And then when the energy body is cleared, then you can step out in clarity and start your day in a different strength.
And back to clarity, did you say with the full moon you get...
New moon tomorrow.
So you generally get clarity?
Yeah.
Is that
both.
for everyone, or...?
Well, yeah, I mean, there'll be some discombobulation because, you know, the moon is, you know, on the physical level, when the moon comes near, then the tides go ballistic. And we are 65% water anyway, and water is connected to emotions. So all of that comes up. But generally, if you can read the 4 seasons and the 5 elements, then you'll have a sense of where you are positioned yourself in order to make certain choices for yourself. So new moon represents darkness. I've got some practices on my website where you can connect to moon energy, and you're not anywhere near, but you can invoke the energy to come in and support you to make a decision. And that's all done by resonance, because you feel the decision. If it feels right, do it. If it doesn't feel right, then there's something inside you that's a tuning rod that's feeling the energy of that decision, saying it's not right. There's no connection, you see. So how do you use, there's practices. If you practice, then you create a different template of life. If you don't practice, provided that you are present and within, you know, and you are yourself and you are watching, then you'll be able to see many other nuances. Time, okay, which is man-made and artificial. Time is just a series of experiences strung together. That's how you measure time. But with technology now, it's really compressed time, so that in a short period of time, because of technology making things really fast to do, you actually move much faster. And then what happens is that we come out of what we call natural right order. And natural right order is very nature-based. The sun rises and then it sets. The tide comes in and the tide goes out. And this happens anyway, irrespective of whether we're connected or not. But in old, more nature-based cultures, people used to live according. We've forgotten this now because we're on the phone, or, you know, every moment of our day is cluttered, and we have no space to expand and no time to be. And to be is just to be together, sharing space and sharing hearts. And just people are so wound up so quickly that the body's nervous system, it's changed form in order to be able to cope. But there's no joy, there's no space for happiness. People have moments of happiness, but then they spend the rest of their time striving for it rather than living and being it. They're striving for it. You know, so then the body, because the rhythm becomes artificially much faster, people forget the heart. They forget about how they feel when they are with other people, just being together, you know. Always doing something on the computer, and then you forget yourself. And when you forget yourself and you're not present, then memories come in and you don't even notice them, and then life becomes two-dimensional, you see. So, you know, where a large part of my work is to bring people back into what we call a wisdom community. So people come into a space where you know who you are without question, you know what you stand for, you know where you're headed, you know your purpose, you know your values, you know what you mean to other people, have a relationship with yourself. It doesn't mean that you have to agree with everyone, and life is made interesting by the fact that we don't agree, but you do respect other people's rights to do what it is that they do without it impacting you. And then when you're in that space, then you have a relative amount of peace, and then what you deal with in terms of the body's imbalances and blah blah is much less than, you know, if you were someone that's always, you know, having to heal something wrong with, you know, there's back pain, there's elbow pain, there's shoulder pain, there's ankle pain. You know, you've got stomach problems. A lot of people can't breathe. A lot of people don't breathe, they hold their breath. A lot of stress, and the mind doesn't stop, don't sleep. You know, and these YouTube music for people who don't sleep, they have 2 million views. I'm like, 2 million views? That's a lot of people who don't sleep, right? That's a lot of people. Because the mind is just going. And then you become a prisoner of the mind, and then you're trapped in the body. So that's not what life is about. The body is intended to be a vehicle of expression, a vehicle of joy, for us to, you know, be together and experience ourselves, and to be in a community that's made up of love and laughter, and where we remember to have fun first and foremost. And when we're having fun, then we forget that there's really anything else that's necessary in life, do you know? That's what I find. But most of the time we're so busy focused on the what ifs and the fear of life. We forget about, you know, the potential of being able to open up and go forward and just enjoy life, you know. And healing takes many forms, you know, the emotions, the mind, thinking sick thoughts, or the same thoughts that go round and round. Addictions that come from the fact that we need to take ourselves out of a life situation. You know, that, I mean, addictions mostly come from shame. That's the core. So when people have done something that they believe is shameful, they try and fill the space so they're not thinking about it. And addictions fill space because it's the same cycle. You think about it, you fight it, you do it, you have a period where you're fulfilled, and then the energy goes, and then you think about it, you do it. That's the life cycle. And most situations don't deal with the shame that's underlying. If you deal with the shame, then the success rate is much higher. And addiction takes many forms. Mobile phones, shopping, gossiping, as well as the physical, you know, the alcohol and whatever. So many different layers to it, and very, very interesting. Never a dull moment.